OU women played before the largest big money TV audience when they denied Pat Summitt's bid for a 1,000th victory. But here's the biggest news, at least around here. Courtney Paris' streaks of double-doubles are over. And during that broadcast, Bob Knight proclaimed that sister Ashley is actually OU's best player. Something you've been saying for a while now. Who is the Sooners' best player?
Well, actually, that's not what Bob Knight said, and that's not what I said.
He said she's
Ashley's better than Courtney.
That's right. You're right. That's right. He said she's better.
And I think it's an amazing thing to say, but I think it is true. I think Ashley Paris is playing better than Courtney Paris. She can do more things. And Courtney's production has gone down, and part of that is, most of it's because other people around her are doing more scorers on this team than in the past. But Ashley can run the floor. She's running around grabbing rebounds, not as many as Courtney, but Courtney gets 2 or 3 rebounds a game on her own misses. So those are sort of, in my mind, sort of hollow rebounds. I think right now, if you had to go play a game without one of the Paris sisters, I think OU would be a lot better off playing with Ashley than playing without her.
No way. No way. If you had to pick one to go without, you would not go without Courtney Paris. When she was in foul trouble on Monday night, they were a different team. They put her back out on the floor in the first half. I don't know if she even scored any points in the run that OU put on to change the complexion of that game, but having her out there made a difference in that game. Tennessee had to guard differently than they were when she was sitting on the bench. It's like a defender and a half that are taking off the other 4 on the floor. Even if she doesn't score a point, it still changes the complexion of the game. And you could get the sense like they were playing with more confidence with her out there. Even though she had the foul trouble, even though she, again, I don't remember how many points she might have scored during that stretch, but you could just tell they were a more confident team with her on the floor, even if she never gets a stat.
After the game, Bob Knight told me the 2 best players on OU's team, Danielle Robinson and Whitney Hand. And I'm telling you what, I think Hand is going to be a superstar. She's already the best outside shooter in OU history, and she's played 20 games or whatever it is. I mean, it is fun to watch her shoot. It's not a fluke. The ball goes in. Every ball seems to have a chance. And Knight was really impressed with Robinson and Hand.
He praised Danielle Robinson all during the game, and then really in the second half picked up his commentary on Hand. The question is this even matter? Does this debate even matter? And is the right question is this OU's best women's basketball team?
So far, I can't say it's better than 2002 because that was a fabulous team that made the Final Four, made the championship game, and took Connecticut's best team ever, I think, down to the wire in the championship game before falling right in the last 2 or 3 minutes. So I don't think they've approached the level of 2002. That was a marvelously skilled team, had not much in the middle, but you had to guard everybody on the court, and they were just a wonderful team.
But this team does have something in the middle, and now and unlike in previous years where there was always sort of something missing, an outside shot, athletic players, a second post option. You know, remember when Leah Rush left and we thought, oh, boy, they sure need a player like Leah Rush. I think they've got one. Mm-hmm. So is this the most complete team, how about this, of the Courtney Paris era?
Oh, definitely so. I definitely think that's true. And, you know, like Barry said, I think the best team ever argument is still yet to be determined because there's a lot of basketball left for this team. But God love Jamie Talbert, but, you know, put Courtney Paris or Ashley Paris, put either one of the bigs out there against Connecticut in 2002, that Oklahoma team is completely different and that much better. I mean, they got killed inside. And so, yeah, you don't see that glaring weakness on this team, especially now that Whitney Hand has come around. John, I mean, what you mentioned about her, how good she's already been. I thought saying the missing piece is a shooter, and we're going to put that in the hands of a true freshman was a little bit risky before the season started. But you know what? She's delivered. She has been everything they needed her to be and probably a little bit more. And so you don't really see that weakness out there. Are they better than Connecticut? I don't know, because Connecticut's really good. But this is a really good team.
Yeah, you were talking about the full complement. It seems to be the best full. They've had senior teams with great senior leadership. They've had experienced teams. They've had a great inside play, but now they got the outside to go with it. So like Barry says, let's wait before we compare them to 2002.
What does this huge TV audience tell us about the state of women's basketball, though? I mean, the biggest Big Monday audience ever.
Yeah.
Well, biggest for women's Big Monday.
I mean,
it's always it was a great turnout TV-wise.
OU women play before one of the largest. I mean, more people got to see OU women's basketball.
It means there's says one thing. There's a growing audience for women, and Pat Summitt is a huge draw. That's what it said.
And they'd probably wondered what Bob Knight would say, and Brent Musburger.
ESPN made it into a huge event.
All those things. Yeah.
I don't think that audience had a lot to do with it being Oklahoma. I mean, if that had been whoever, Purdue, Louisville, UCLA, whoever, I don't think the numbers would have been any different.
But I will say this: the two teams gave the people that did tune in a really fun game to watch. There was while I wasn't listening to the broadcast, I was actually there. I'm sure that there was obviously the ebb and flow of the first half, and then even though it ended up being a blowout in the second half, you still had the drama of will Courtney get the double-double. So there was this never-ending storyline that it changed throughout the game, but it was always there and it was always really compelling. So I have no doubt if you tuned in, no matter what point you tuned in, there was something to be sort of excited about and get lured in by. So the two teams really delivered and helped ESPN with those rankings for certain.
It's neat. It was a unique window because on the men's side on regular ESPN, I believe it was UConn Pitt. So if you're a men's fan, UConn Louisville.
Yeah.
If you're a men's fan, you're probably tuning into that. If you're a women's fan, you had that. And I don't know if there was any crossover, but that was a good 2-hour window for ESPN.
Great TV, great programming, great scheduling. Look at the fourth. I'm sure somebody got out the schedule and said, "Hey, Pat could be going for 1,000 there." And then one more tip of the cap to Joe Castiglione, who helps bring this together here in Oklahoma City.